So this creek is called Sawmill Run, and a few hundred yards down it connects to something called the Schuylkill River. And the Schuylkill River is a main source of drinking water for Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. And we thought, what a better place to learn about our drinking water and stream health than right here at Riverbend Environmental Ed Center. So we're here today at Riverbend with Erin. So Erin, can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at Riverbend?
Sure. Well, I'm the Director of Education at Riverbend here, and we have a 30-acre preserve. We're just outside of Philadelphia, but actually we work across the region to connect students with nature and in the environment and to build skills in STEM. And all at the same time, we're really investigating real-world authentic issues because we're exploring nature, which is all around us.
Perfect. So one of our challenges today is to try to figure out where our drinking water comes from and stream health, and it sounds like we are at the right place to learn about water quality. So what do we do next?
We need to get into the water.
Love it. Let's do it.
All right.
All right, Erin, so we're getting ready to do our stream study. So we are in the stream. What is the first step about the stream study?
Well, first what we want to do is survey our scene. So we want to look around and we want to see what we can find. The stream here looks pretty healthy. I see water that's moving. I see lots of trees. I see some evidence of erosion. And what's happening here, if I look to the top of the hill, when it rains or it storms, sediment and soil kind of moves down that hill and causes erosion. If you notice the vegetation along the stream, kind of looks all the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's all one species. This is called five-leaf akebia, and it's an invasive vine that we see right here at Riverbend. It takes over an area and it creates something we call a monoculture, which means it's one type of plant over a whole area. And the problem with this is it doesn't allow for biodiversity, which is what we should normally see here in Pennsylvania, where you have lots of different types of plants and trees and woody shrubs that are growing and keeping this stream bed in place.
Okay, cool. All right, so the first step is we're visually looking around for signs of life and erosion and things like that. So once we kind of go around and get a good baseline, what's the next part of a stream study?
So the other thing we noticed when we were looking around is there's some fallen trees in the water, right? So where the trees have fallen down and they just sort of stay in the water and they're decomposing, and that's a great thing. What I've actually pulled out of the water is something we call a leaf pack. And a leaf pack is when the trees fall and we have leaves that fall into the water, eventually they sort of get caught up amongst the rocks and boulders and branches, and they form these leaf packs. Organisms called macroinvertebrates actually will find their way into these leaf packs and they make them their home. And what they do is they eat these leaves, they break them down, and they put nutrients back into the water to allow for other animals to survive. Some macroinvertebrates can only survive in a really clean ecosystem. So if we have those here at Riverbend, that's a clue that we've got a good ecosystem.
All right, so what you're saying is that if we start seeing some of these macroinvertebrates, that's a good sign that the stream has really good health.
Some examples are macroinvertebrates called a stonefly or a mayfly. Those are really good examples of something that would live in a healthy ecosystem. There are other macroinvertebrates like a scud, and a scud can live just about anywhere. Yeah, that is.
Oh.
So
everybody calm down. But I think we found a macroinvertebrate. So which one's this? Do we know, Erin?
I notice he's got two antennae. I don't know, how many legs does he have? Can you tell? Does he have wings?
6.
He's moving very quickly. There's another one too.
It's a macroinvertebrate party.
It's macroinvertebrate mania.
So would that indicate that the water is somewhat healthy then?
You know, the number of macros that we're seeing really doesn't matter so much. It's what type of macro that you're seeing. So we can go back to our field guide and identify them.
All right, so we did the leaf pack study. We looked for macroinvertebrates. We found macroinvertebrates. So what's the next part of the stream study?
Sure, so next I think what we need to do is look at the water itself. I have some water testing supplies and we can test the water and see what sorts of chemicals exist there that we might not see with our eyes.
Let's do it.
So Ryan, the first step in the water testing process is to get a water sample. Can you do that?
Yeah, sure. Just anywhere in the creek?
Anywhere in the creek.
All right.
Now, if we were doing a big study, we might take samples from different parts of the creek.
Okay.
But for the purposes of today, we're just going to take one sample here. Today we're going to do just a simple little water test. If I were to be testing the water for, say, drinking, I would recommend that we actually use a professional company that does drinking water testing. Today, we just want to get an idea of what's going on in the stream. The two big things we're looking at today are pH and nitrogen. And so nitrogen is a really interesting indicator. One thing that pollutes our streams a lot is fertilizer. And that could be fertilizer from, say, a farm, but it could also be fertilizer that you might put on your lawn at home.
Okay.
And when it rains, all of that fertilizer can actually find its way into the stream. We're going to look specifically at these two bottom bricks here. Those are my nitrate and nitrite. Those are the two types of nitrogen. Our nitrogen levels today are actually pretty low. And then the one up here, the third one up, 1, 2, 3, that's my pH. And that's reading at about 6, which is just about right. It's just in the middle.
We checked the water quality, the nitrogen looked good, the pH looked good, but it's kind of tricky, right? Because you can't really see the pollution with the naked eye, so we need test kits and strips like this to let us know what's really in the water.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that we're doing a pretty comprehensive survey. When we look at stream health, we don't look at just one thing. We look at all of the different factors together. So today we looked at the stream bed, we looked at what is around the stream, the erosion around the stream, we looked at what types of animals are living here, and we looked at water quality. So we have to look at sort of the whole big picture, not just one little piece.
We're down here at the stream and we're talking about water quality and where our drinking water comes from. But like, how does pollution get here? Like, why should we really matter about pollution being in our drinking water? Like, how does that happen?
Sure. I think, Brian, what might be helpful is if we talk about a watershed. And we can do a really simple watershed model with my piece of paper. So if I were to ball up this piece of paper and flatten it out, are you seeing how there's all of these different creases in the paper?
Yeah.
Now imagine that this piece of paper is a landscape. This could be Philadelphia, this could be Montgomery County. And when the rain hits this piece of land at any point, it's going to run downhill. And so this watershed essentially is all of the land that captures the water that eventually runs into the Schuylkill River. So if there's pollution at the top of this landscape, sure, it's pretty far away from where the Schuylkill is, but eventually when it rains and snows, that's going to make its way into the Schuylkill River.
Even though pollution's getting in here and it's a small stream and we're not directly drinking water in the stream, all this water and pollution is going to go down to the Schuylkill River where eventually we are going to get that drinking water.
Exactly. Think about the hundreds and thousands of streams that are connected in some way to the Schuylkill River. And yes, we can treat that, but it takes us more energy to treat water when it's really polluted. And we are learning all of the time about different new pollutants and ways that we can make our water cleaner and healthier for everyone.
Okay, so it's easier to be a little more proactive about trying to prevent from pollution getting into the streams. It's going to be a lot harder to be reactive to try to clean up what's already in it.
Absolutely. If we can stop pollution where it starts and never let it reach our drinking water source, that would be amazing for people. It would also be amazing for the wildlife and plants and animals.
All right, guys, so there you have it. A great day at Riverbend talking about streams and water quality and where our water comes from. So we want to challenge you guys now to start thinking about ways that you could reduce pollution or figure out ways that we could have cleaner drinking water. Great day here at Riverbend, and obviously we want to thank Riverbend again, but another active party that's been in this is Montgomery County IU. And Erin, I'll let you introduce yourself and some of the work you guys do at Montgomery County IU.
So I'm Erin Barry. I'm a project consultant at Montgomery County Intermediate Unit. We are a service agency for Montgomery County. We support teachers and students across the county, and we really benefit and pride ourselves in the partnerships that we form with groups like both of these. Riverbend has been an amazing partnership that we have had over the past couple of years, working together on stuff such as nature-based STEM for all learners, really seeing the access to reach all students and all learners in these authentic learning experiences.
Great, and it's wonderful to work with you. I love seeing the student experiences that we're able to pull together, working with formal partners, formal education partners like the IU, our business and industry, and non-formal education organizations like the Riverbend. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.